I used artificial intelligence as my social media agent, basically to give me my start. I went from 0 to 100,000 followers in 18 days. I had 3,000 followers in May of this year. And right now I'm at 305,000 just using artificial intelligence as my social media manager.
We are here at Make Wakanda Real with Mr. Grateful. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So before we even jump into things, I want to know about the name Mr. Grateful because I'm a big gratitude girl. So I'm assuming he's Mr. Grateful because he's always practicing gratitude, but tell me the backstory on it.
Mr. Grateful was born from not so grateful times. Mr. Grateful was born before Mr. Grateful was able to meet the world, actually. When there was a lot of, life happens like this before this happens.
1,000%.
And you have to be prepared for this. You have to be prepared for when things rise. You have to be prepared for your elevation. And gratitude was my preparation. Somebody asked me today how I keep my ego in check with elevation. And gratitude was my answer. I still say thank you to the hot water in my shower and to, just like clothes on me and to food because, all this extra stuff, the lights, being able to sit with you, this is, I'm very grateful for it, but if Mr. Grateful wasn't born before I had all these things, I wouldn't be able to appreciate this. Mr. Grateful was born when I realized that the blessings I was asking for, I had to be grateful for them before I got them.
Practicing gratitude for me, it has to be a practice. It has to be intentional because when life doesn't always feel good, you have to intentionally do it. And I feel like the word practice has to be used because it has to have that intention behind it. And I just love the fact that that's so a part of who you are and a part of like what you share with the world to the point where you actually made it a part of your name. So I just needed to speak to that and acknowledge that. I love that.
Yeah.
Now we're here at Make Wakanda Real, and there's obviously a clear focus on AI and how it is going to impact our communities, impact the world, impact the work we do. How has AI impacted you very practically and also profoundly?
Profoundly. And against modern conception, AI has connected me with more human beings. It's made me more connected to people in a deeper way and in a wider way. I've been able to connect with tens of millions of people from hundreds of different countries by using artificial intelligence. Practically, just because there's an education gap and people want to know how to use it. I teach them those practical ways. Also, people just have fear. They're scared of what the world looks like in a world that they don't understand. And my job is not even to teach people steps, is to just teach them how to relieve themselves of fear. So profoundly, I've been able to connect with the globe through artificial intelligence. I've been able to translate myself into tens of different languages to be able to speak with people that I never would have gotten my message across to them. My face has been seen by people that I will never actually meet in person. And that's from the sake of artificial intelligence.
And then on your day-to-day, how does it impact you?
And everything.
Everything.
I was at the bar sitting back. I was at the bar just drinking. I'm like, yo, there's so many people here who have made a big impact on the world. And I want to make sure that I'm making the most of this experience. And I just like popped out my AI and I was like, how can I make the most of this experience? And it gave me some steps. And I was like, okay, but I don't want to look thirsty. I'm not trying to be thirsty. I'm not trying to be walking around here like networking with everybody.
Yeah.
So even on very, very, very practical things like that, when it comes to engaging with other people, also, it goes through my contracts. It sends my emails. I have a manager, but that manager is an artificial intelligence who responds to all of my bookings, all of my deals, writes my contracts, scripts my content. I have clones of myself, video clones of myself to where this set right here, I can take 2 minutes of this and I can generate an interview with you and I. And it'll move my body, move my hands, move my face, my lips to match whatever text that I input.
Crazy.
So I'm able to scale myself on a massive level. I'm going to be in every industry. I'm going to be known by people who don't even know about artificial intelligence, but they like any industry, like fashion, yoga, meditation, health and wellness, cooking, fashion, all that. They'll see my face there, even though I'm not physically actually recording myself talking about those things.
You have huge vision, and I love that. You're thinking long term for sure. Could you feel something internally changing and shifting because of what you've been learning about AI and how you've been using it?
AI is the pathway to self-actualization because you have to know what you want before you use it. And what do we really want? You know, a lot of people think they know what they want until they get it. And AI has created a spell for us where we can speak things into existence immediately. Generative AI. We can speak something and get text back, images back, videos back, sound back, feeling back, taste back soon, emotion back. We can generate the things that we want. So what is it that we want? And once you realize what you want and deciding if you truly want it or if you want to let that go, that is self-actualization.
That is such a good point. Because it's all about what you input into it. That determines what you get out of it. So would you say that you've had to practice a little bit more internal hard work in order to get very crystal clear about you, your purpose, your intent, what you would like to put out into the world? Do you spend intentional time doing that just as much as you do with the external things of like AI?
Of course. I think that what happened is a lot of people see me as I was in the right place at the right time. And I used artificial intelligence as my social media agent, basically to give me my start. I went from 0 to 100,000 followers in 18 days
when was this? What year?
This was this year. This was in May. I had 3,000 followers in May of this year. And right now I'm at 305,000 since using artificial intelligence as my social media manager. They didn't see this, which I was talking about before. And this was the self-work. This was the meditation and the affirmation and the journaling and the self-actualization, to where when something came, where it would say, you can speak into existence what it is that you want, I knew what I wanted. I knew who I was. I knew what my path was already. That's what made me ready for it, right? So absolutely. There's always been work that's going on internally to get to this point. And now I think if you can teach somebody that, now they can use AI to do that work.
Yes.
You can use AI to help you with your meditations, to help you with your journaling, to help you with your own self-actualization.
Yes, I actually used ChatGPT to help me make a EFT tapping script. And was shockingly surprised at how good it actually did it. And it was super, super helpful. With it being such a powerful tool that it can quite literally speak something into existence, how do you think that we as a society, or you could just speak for yourself too, can go about using it ethically? Because people could speak some crazy things into existence. AI is super, super powerful. Like, how do you think that we need to approach it from that regard?
I think that we need to approach it with grace and care and transparency. Ethically, if you want to use something ethically typically just means transparency. Just letting somebody know what you're doing and your intention behind doing it, and making sure that it's benefiting everyone in the transaction. The main ethical concerns that people have with this technology is like plagiarism, using somebody else's voice, face, knowledge, IP to build something of your own and taking credit for it. 2, bias, right? Are the things that you're speaking into existence, do they have a bias against one group or another? And the other ethical thing is like, are you taking credit for something creativity or, creatively? That, are you really an artist? If a machine generated the thing that you imagined in your mind. Right. So I just think that right now what we need is transparency, so that we can discern from one or the other,
Yeah.
so that we can start making decisions on, is this right or is it not?
Mm-hmm.
But when we don't know when it was used, we don't have the choice to make that decision. Right. We're still in the learning period. We're still in the training period of these AI models, of these tools, and of what we really deem ethical. So transparency is key, just so we can start to make that choice.
Ooh, I love that. Great response. Great response. What's your favorite tool that you've used thus far?
My favorite tool that I've used thus far?
Yep.
One is my intuition. I make ethical choices based on my intuition. And my intuition typically tells me when AI is necessary to use or not. Mm-hmm. Then when we come to my favorite AI tool that I've used, of course, OpenAI's ChatGPT it is the leading AI model right now. Mm-hmm. There's no way really around that. Yeah. Technically and in the matter of experience, it is the best AI model that exists. It's been the thing that I use the most. Mm-hmm. It's very versatile. That isn't to say that's always going to be the case. Yeah. That isn't to say that we aren't going to create something that's more powerful or maybe more ethical for us. Mm-hmm. But thus far, that tool has been profound in everyday life and in my journey. Yeah, I would have to agree with you on that. Yeah. Now, you use AI. I mean, you were talking about clones, okay? At this point, clone versions of you. Mm-hmm. And so you use it at a super high level, and you also use it very practically. So I have a twofold question for you. For people that are just getting started and that could not even wrap their mind around you being able to make a clone of yourself, how would you tell them to get started? And then for the people that have been using ChatGPT and Midjourney and they're like, okay, I'm kind of versed, how would you recommend that they could level up their usage with AI? Okay. First thing is to go to openai.com, chat.openai.com, create an account, subscribe to ChatGPT 4 Plus, and click on ChatGPT 4, click new chat, and start typing in the text box, and hit enter and start having a conversation with it. It's the very first thing that you can do to introduce yourself to artificial intelligence. Now you can ask it to generate a picture for you. Then you can ask it to generate something in your daily life, like give me a recipe for blank, give me a workout plan for blank, help me to generate a bedtime story for my child. These are just basic things that you can start to do just to get yourself familiar with the technology itself and learn its limits. It's not perfect. It does hallucinate sometimes. It does lie sometimes. So you have to double check it, and you need to make sure that you remember that you as the human being are responsible for the generations that AI produces for you and how you use it. Okay. If you want to level up, I have created 2 GPTs that you can use. The first GPT is Mr.grateful GPT. It's trained on all of my content, video, text, my personality, my knowledge, all of that. And you can go on there and speak to me through this GPT. That's one way that you can start to introduce yourself to what it's like to interact with an AI model that's modeled after an actual human being. That'll unlock something new in your mind about what it means to be human, what intelligence really means, and you'll start to cross over that barrier in your mind. That'll open you up to what the future is actually going to look like. Then I made another one that is Grateful Social Media Agent, and it's trained on the Agent GPT that I built to help me build my social media following. So these are 2 ways that you can start to level up your game if you're already familiar. Amazing. You're on it because that feature just released to be able to build it. Yeah. How long did it take you to build out the GPT? I got access to it about 24 hours ago. And access to it about 24 hours ago. Mm-hmm. And I already have all of my transcripts from all of my content, you know what I'm saying, ready. So I just uploaded all of those documents. Mm-hmm. I trained it to reference my Instagram and my different social media platforms, so that now whenever you ask it a question, it's relevant to something I've already said. It knows how to source it, or it'll use my words to predict what I would say in that case scenario.
That is so crazy. That is so crazy. And so where can people access this? Do you have like the link in your bio or?
Yeah, I will put it in the link in my bio. Like I said, it was just 24 hours ago.
Yeah. I got you.
But yeah, and also OpenAI is releasing their store so that you can actually go in there into the store and like search when people make these things. So that'll be opening up to people towards the end of this month based on what they said. I'm not in OpenAI or anything. I'm not like sponsor for them, but I can't deny the power of their tool, right? So
yeah,
it'll be opening up towards the end of this month based on what they're talking about. And I will have it in the link in my bio as well.
Okay, beautiful. My last question for you is, considering how far AI has progressed to date and how rapidly it's progressing, what can you see our world to look like being shaped by AI, like within the next 10 years?
What you could see, what everybody wants to see, is humans doing human things and robots doing robot things. Robot superpowers are automation, repetition, and prediction. These are three things that humans really don't like to do, and we aren't really good at. So if we can start to give the automated, repetitive tasks to artificial intelligence, then they also can predict when we want those things to happen. Perfect. Now we can do more things like this. We can just focus on being creative. You know what I'm saying? We can focus on just like connecting with one another and having genuine experiences. I would much rather go out and grab a drink than go back to the hotel and write emails. You know what I'm saying? If I have an AI that's going back and writing emails for me, instead, now I can go get a drink and like enjoy my time and connect with another human being more deeply and genuinely than doing the things that I dislike. So that's utopia at a very base level, right? What does that look like scaled? Where basically the world doesn't have to work and do repetitive tasks. What happens when everybody gets to follow their heart and their creative passion? Yeah,
that opens up a lot of different paths in my mind for how that can look. But I am hopeful that we will all be as responsible, as careful, as thoughtful as possible, so that as that future unfolds, people don't get left behind. And I think that's the whole point of this event.
Right.
So I so appreciate you for sharing your wisdom and your insights, and also for creating resources for people to learn more and to level up their AI usage. And I'm just so glad that we got to sit down and talk. Thank you for your existence. Thank you for your energy, Mr. Grateful. I express gratitude for you. And I thank you for coming and sitting and talking with me.
I'm grateful for you as well.
Okay, amazing. Can you tell the people where they can connect with you and follow you?
You can connect with me on Instagram at Mr.grateful, Mr.grateful on Instagram.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you guys so much. See ya.
Peace.